That's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point. We'll have to consider that. Well, another guy that's coming here, and this one was kind of interesting. Running back Aaron Jones was before the free agency period. They said they're going to cut him. Well, he restructures and comes back at 5.5 million per year. Uh, Thoughts on that? I mean, I think that takes us out of the Jeremiah Love conversation.
No, I don't think it does, actually. I mean,
Really? Well,
yeah, I don't think it takes him out of the running, getting younger running back in any way, shape, or form, because, or maybe not in free agency it does, but in the draft, I wouldn't, if Jeremiah Love drops to where they're at, it'd be you take him.
yes. Yeah.
My feeling on Aaron Jones was, you cut him, but better to cut a year early than a year late. But when you look at the numbers and how they're explained, the dead money would have been what, 6.5, or the savings would have been 6.8, I think.
Yeah.
Anyways, the difference between the savings and the dead money and all that was like a difference of $2 million. So to me, the way you look at it is he worth $2 million on your cap to keep? And if that's how you're phrasing it, that's how it's shaped, then yeah, there's $2 million worth of value there for Aaron Jones. But where you have to be careful is what you just said, at least in my opinion. What you just said was, well, our running back, we just go back in with Aaron Jones and Jordan Mason, and we're set. And no, I feel like having Aaron Jones would be good for his leadership, for his receiving ability, for his toughness, pass protection. But if there's an opportunity to get a great young running back in the draft, you still take him. My feeling.
I agree with that, Mark. I guess I was saying, last week we had talked about Love after the combine. He moved from around, maybe the Vikings had a chance to maybe top 10, and I thought they'd have to trade up to get him. So I'm saying by signing Aaron Jones, they're not going to spend any capital to go up.
Yeah, I don't think you trade up.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I still think
too many holes.
They need
too many holes on this roster. Too many holes on this roster to be given a bunch of capital to go up, I feel.
Yes, and I think for sure they got to get a running back. Hang on to Jordan Mason, but he's not the main guy. You got to, and you can always find a running back in the draft later round. So that's what you hang on for. All right. You mentioned Andrew DePaul. He's a 1-year deal worth 1.725, fully guaranteed. The Vikings tendered a 1-year contract to Ivan Pace Jr. You read the headlines. I thought it's a low tender. What does that all mean? I mean, he has first right of refusal, or they do, or the Vikings, or what?
Well, I think it's based on where you're drafted. He wasn't drafted, so Ivan Pace is a guy I think that could if someone comes in and makes him an offer, that they're not going to overpay for him, especially when you bring Wilson back. But there's interest in keeping him, for linebacker depth, for special teams. But if someone wants to pay him money, then he would take off.
So next two guys we kind of mentioned in the first segment, defensive lineman Jalen Redmond comes back. Great news. Second guy, Eric Wilson's coming back. More great news. He had such a good year last year. He's a little long in the tooth, but you still want a guy like that who did so much for this team last year on defense. He was huge back there.
Yeah,